Hi everybody. Today I am going to show how I do my basic shading and specifically how I blend the paint after I've applied it. I depict all this in my AA Reborn tutorial. So if you have this at home and you want to follow along, go ahead. I am going to be doing shading part 2. So let's get started. Today I'm working on Sweet Melody, and this is by Laura Tuzia Ross. She's one of the very first prototypes I did, and back about 5-6 years ago, and somebody got her as a private order and found the kit, and so she's back on my workstation. So I'm going to start by doing shading part 2 on her. As you can see, she already has color, and now I want to deepen it some more. So I'm going to freshen up my palette, and I'm pouring the, I'm using Gamblin Gamsol Odorless Mineral Spirits. And I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to mix it up. And like I said, if you want to see the paint that I used and how I mixed it, refer to my AA Reborn tutorial. And if you don't have one and would like to order one, you can email me directly, and I will provide that below in the description. Okay, so I'm going to load my brush, and your preference, however you want. Some people don't. Sometimes I don't paint the top of the head if I'm going to root thickly over it, and if the baby's going to have, let's say, sparser hair, then I will paint the entire head. It's up to you. Okay, so I'm going to start at the temple, and I'm applying this based on the diagram in my tutorial. So I'm applying, as you can see, a lot of paint all over the head. Refreshing my brush, and every time I do, as you can see, I am mixing the paint back up. All over the head and behind the ears. Oh. And I'm applying it, refreshing the paint by mixing it up, keeping that paint moving, and pouncing it on. Pretty heavy-handed. Here we go. And now I'm just going to finish contouring the front. Right here, making sure that it's even. I'm bringing it forward on the forehead. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it down. Again, swirling my brush in the paint, and I bring it down underneath the chin and the crease, and up by the ears, and up in front of the ears, up in front of the ears, and up around the chin towards the mouth. Careful to leave the lips blank. I'll color those later. Okay, now that after you've placed the paint on, you can see how much paint I have on. The next trick is you're going to take a blank, a clean makeup cosmetic wedge, and you're going to pull the paint off, just like this. Pull the paint off. And as I pull the paint off, I'm going to go over the top of the ears. So I'm pulling the paint off, just like so, pulling the excess off. So that's why you have to make sure that you put enough paint on so that when you go to pull it off, you're still going to be wet enough to blend. Okay, I'm bringing it around, and only pull off the paint on the areas that have been painted. Don't travel over the areas that have not been painted yet. Okay. So now I pulled off most of the paint. And now I like to take what's called a beauty blender. You can find these on Amazon. And these make, just like they give you a flawless finish for those of you who like to wear foundation, they give a flawless blend for your doll's complexion. And you go over it, and as you can see, I'm pounding up and down to blend, and I'm traveling as I do it. And now over the areas that did not have paint, like here, here, and here, I'm just going to gently pounce on those creases. And then I take the end, just like that. So I'm blending on the creases. Now you're going to ask yourself, what about the middle of the face? I haven't done that yet. I like to work in 2 stages. I like to do the perimeter of the face and the entire head. And then I come back and do the center of the face. Because you want to make sure that it doesn't flash off or dry before you have a chance to blend. And you get quite a workout with your arm doing this. And now you can see the excess paint behind the ears, and that's where I come in and I take a brush, actually one of my wet brushes, which just is a, right here, an angular shader sort of thing, and I come in and I dab behind the ears to pull off the excess, and over here to pull off the excess. And then I come in with some sort of wedge. You can find these at any of your local like CVS or Rite Aid. They have a really nice point, and I come in and I dab. I'm blending. Make sure you blend behind the ears really well. Paint likes to cake up behind there. Then I turn it around and I come and I stick it in the creases, wherever you see the creases. On the chin. And then I take one of my favorite brushes, which is a short round Royal Sable Tech. I got this from Hobby Lobby. And I just like to clean up those creases where paint likes to pool. And then come back over it with my Beauty Blender. If you have any questions about the Beauty Blenders, or you'd like to see a video about the different Beauty Blenders that I have and how to use them, just leave a comment below. Okay, now I'm going to come and I'm going to mix my paint up again. And my paint's pretty thin. Pretty pigmented but thin, watery, a little thicker than skim milk. And now I'm going to come and do the center of the face. And the center of the face is the eye area, around the eyes, under the eye, the bottom of the eye, flare out. Here we go, around the eye. Gotta give that some color. And I'm going to do it in 2 stages. I'm going to pounce off and blend the eye, and then I'm going to come down and do the nose and around the mouth. So I'm going to take another clean makeup wedge, and this is one that I've used, but I just cut off the excess. It used to look like this, and then I cut it off with a pair of scissors. So I have a brand new sponge again. Waste not, want not. And clean that area up. I'm pulling this part. Remember, I'm just pulling off the excess paint. Okay, I'm not blending. I'm just pulling off the excess paint at this point. And then I'm going to come back in with my Beauty Blender. And I'm going to gently pounce here. And then I'm going to take one that I've been using, and this is another Shape Beauty Blender for those hard to reach places. And I'm going to pounce. These Beauty Blenders are such a lifesaver. They make such a flawless blend. No seams, no outlines left behind. And here I go. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I have a smaller one on a stick. Like I said, there's many sizes to choose from. And come back in. Okay. And one last time with my Big Beauty blender, just to blend. And again with my brush, I want to get that nice shadow shading. Now I'm going to apply around the nose. Here we go. And not a lot of paint here, but still be careful about applying it directly where you want it to go. And then you're going to come and travel down top of the lip. So you want your paint thin, but you don't want it so thin that it's running everywhere. If your paint, you put it on and it's running, it's too thin. You know you have the right consistency if when you put it on, it stays where you put it. And now I'm pouncing up, I'm pulling off. I'm just dabbing my makeup sponge. If you hear a sigh, that's my cameraman. He's at an awkward angle. And now I'm going to come back in and I'm going to pounce. And blend. Here we go. And all done. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.